Hi, my name's Shawn Shaler. That's my friend Chris Ford, aka The Objective Geek of YouTube and Twitter fame. Of YouTube fame to the tune of 5,000 subscribers. Every one of those guys has the bell clicked. I know they're all getting the notifications probably. I know that's important. I hated when that became a thing just because then every YouTube video, like the little disclaimer at the end, had to get like one line longer. It's like, all right, that's enough of that. But yeah, go the Objective
I try to
Geek on
say
YouTube and Twitter.
I've never asked anyone to hit that bell, which is I should ask. I mean, I ask at the end of my videos, like the very end, I say, if you got some of this video, thank you for watching. Please like, comment, share, consider subscribing. Sincerely, thank you for watching. I'm out. I've never said hit that bell. I'm just like, I don't even want to hit the bell.
Some people get the obnoxious. I have like 3 or 4 channels that I watch religiously, and I don't have the bell. Chris, I don't have the bell on your channel. Probably because I have access to your channel from my computer, so I pretty much see when you have new videos up and scheduled. It's kind of creepy to think of it that way, but whatever. Part of the podcast life. But a lot of channels have like the obnoxious bell sound. They'll be like, hit that bell,
Yeah.
ding. It's like, no, stop it. I know what a bell sounds like, and that bell don't even do that when I hit it, so don't get my hopes up. Happy Labor Day in a couple of days. I assume we'll publish this on Saturday. Be safe out there, doing whatever you're doing. If you're drinking on the lake or whatever, be smart, be safe, all that good stuff. We're gonna try to shrink this episode down a little bit. We won't shortchange it, but not a full cast maybe. Chris is trying to move houses. I'm trying to switch jobs.
Maybe move houses.
Maybe move houses.
Yeah.
I hope definitely move jobs. You know, I had to do like the drug screen thing. Chris, I've never done an illegal substance in my entire life. But there's something about like just waiting on drug screen results that makes me nervous. Like it can't make me nervous. It's not possible. And I was like, well, what if Aldi slipped some stuff in my peanut butter? I don't know. So
You've ever done a test for someone else before? I have.
I have, yeah, for previous jobs.
No, I meant like for another person.
Oh, you meant you had to give them your stuff. I got you.
My friend in college, he calls me. He's like, "Hey, what I'm about to say sounds stupid, but just can you come over here and pee in this condom for me?"
That's what real friends do.
I'm like, "Wait, what?" He's like, "I got to take a drug test, and I know you're clean." Like, it was one thing to be the designated driver. Apparently, I was the designated drug taker.
Drugger taker, yeah. Drug not taker, yeah.
Yeah, so he had me pee in a condom. Not in front of him. I went to the bathroom and did it.
Right, you don't want to go into the dude's room and do that.
And he did tie it up, and then like right before his test, I think he microwaved it to make it warm, and then he went to go take
I had to. So I get a little nervous about using the restroom in public sometimes. It's usually not an issue, but this case there's like one doorway between me and this nurse that's waiting, and I didn't go pee like right before I left the house because I was like, I want to be able to pee when I get there, and then the waiting line was very long, so it's waiting a long time, and then I had to pee really bad, and then there's this nurse that has to wait on me to like pee the minimal amount that the cup requires, and then way more pee in the toilet for goats. It's so awkward. Whatever. Those people have seen it all. Like, I can get self-conscious, but nothing about that's going to be weird to that lady. She's seen everything. Long story short, really nervous about this drug screen for zero reason because I have never taken a legal substance in my life. I smoked a cigar like 5 years ago, and that's as close as I can get.
That sounds gross.
You remember Zach? I smoked a cigar with Zach from one of after like a Nicaraguan trip for some of the merchants or something, and I did it, and I'm glad I did it, but it was still gross.
Fit in.
Yeah, it was still gross. Long story short, busy lives, short episode, but it's okay. This one's called A Leaf in the Wind, and I don't think it's going to take us all that long to talk about.
No, it will not. So let's get into it. Korra is starting her air temple training with Tenzin, and things are going terribly, I guess. One thing, I think Corey looks great, and I like how she folds up the elbows, but not on board. Tenzin trades out. Okay, there's one bit of just pure comedy in this one scene where they're all meditating, and so like you have like the airbending kids, and Tenzin is trying to get them to meditate, and Korra, she just scratches her butt, and it's so human, it's so lifelike that I'm really curious if the animators overseas in Korea added that, or was that like actually in the script?
I would like to know too if they have to like, hey, we got to animate this. I need somebody to go sit in this stool and just model, just so we can
Yeah.
visualize it better,
Yeah. But and then
I
Milo
also
falls
like in
asleep.
that same scene, yeah, when he falls asleep is in the same scene.
Yeah. But yeah, and then they also go through some other training. These like wooden pillar things that are all spinning. You got to kind of work your way through them.
Kind of like turnstile pillar
Yeah,
things. Yeah.
that turn with airbending. And Korra is so abrasive and eager to get through. She's like, all right, let's do this. And she just gets whammed by them all. But it's about being the leaf in the wind. Like, because they show the leaf is going through it. Like, and I do love the kind of philosophy Tenzin is teaching her is like, as an airbender, you learn to move with the flow. And when something confronts you, you learn to just, I don't know, just gradually move like against it in a way. Really
Like
interesting airbending.
just the force. It's such a subtle bending art that just the force of the thing coming at you and like moving that air and just pushing you with it, like you're always a step ahead of it. That's kind of a deep lesson for episode 2, at least.
Yeah. And so also she's still not getting it though, and she brings up Probending to him, and Tenzin already doesn't like Probending because he's like makes a mockery of the sport. He doesn't like it. It makes a mockery of bending. He doesn't like it. But some of the White Lotus is like listening to the match on the radio, and then eventually Korra decides she like blows up at Tenzin, telling him that the reason why she's not a good teacher is probably because the reason why she's not a good bender, the reason why she can't airbend is because Tenzin isn't a good teacher, which Korra's being a jerk at that point, but she's a bratty 17-year-old who's the thing is, I feel I kind of relate to Korra in this sense because like right, Korra is really great at the 3 elements, but then this element she's not great at. It reminded me in college of when I was a pretty straight A student, but I had this one class called financial markets, and I made like a C in that class. And the teacher was my advisor. I'm like, can't you see that I'm really smart and you can see my own transcript? I'm making like all A's, but in your class for some reason I'm making a C. Must be you. Or I never said that to her. That's what I thought.
It's a fair question.
In her defense, in my defense, she was really, but in her defense, I slept in the class sometimes. In my defense, she was really boring. And so usually I would like just wear my hoodie like this and just head down. I'm much better.
I'm so jealous at you right now. Just the ability to have fallen asleep in class. That kind of pisses me off. How jealous I am. You just fall asleep like that.
I'm a great sleeper, Shawn.
I'm a terrible sleeper. I would fail a sleeping class. I'd be up thinking about, do they really want me to fall asleep, or is this some kind of test?
So yeah, I kind of relate to Corey in that. Which I was kind of mad I made a C in that class because I should have. If I would have tried. We should have met halfway, right? If she was a good teacher, I would have made an A.
If
but
she's
if I was
a little
good
better,
student,
if you're a little better,
yeah, I should have. Yeah, I probably, if I would have just tried harder, I could have made a B. But I don't know. For some reason, I just wasn't feeling that class. I mean, whatever. It didn't make a big change. Anything. I had a 3.6 something GPA, so it's fine. Man, I feel like I'm bragging about myself here, but.
It's a good GPA. You should be proud of it, man.
Yeah.
Stay in school, kids.
Yeah.
But don't. Yeah. You know what? But don't physically go to school right now. Take virtual classes.
Yeah. So anyway, she's a jerk. I wasn't a jerk to my teacher, but Korra was a jerk to Tenzin. And I do like how their kids blow up at it. Like, Milo's like, "Yeah, Daddy, you're a terrible teacher." and, I think at one point Tenzin tells Janora's like, "When you're a teenager, promise me you won't act like that." She's like, "I will make no promises." Which is one thing I love, the family aspect of the airbending kids, especially with Korra. Like, she feels like she's part of the family.
Mm-hmm.
I always love that.
And Tenzin's still trying to figure out how to be a teacher and a dad, asking a girl
also,
not to be like that. What?
Yeah. Also, in Korra's defense, I don't think Tenzin is a great airbending teacher, which is weird to say he's the only person who could teach airbending.
But that doesn't make him. Yeah, it doesn't make him a great teacher. It just makes him the only one who can do it at all. Maybe that's not even true. Or he's the only one that can airbend. But it's like maybe there's a better airbending, like just a more studied mega fan out there somewhere. One of Aang's fan club members studied all the moves.
I mean, I feel like his teaching methods come in direct conflict with airbending philosophies about freedom and everything. Korra says this, and Tenzin's like, airbending is the element of freedom. Just like, really? Because I'm not free to leave this island. And if Korra really did get I don't know, like, to me, Aang was probably looking through him like, come on. Although, Aang would be boring learning from Tenzin. But in Tenzin's defense,
Aang wouldn't sit there and take it either. It might handle it better, but
yeah, like Tenzin, he is the way he is because he has the weight of a whole entire civilization and culture on his back. Like there was no other way to be but to be kind of uptight like he is.
It's funny you say that. It's like I actually sided with Tenzin when Korra made that comment about not being free. Because in my mind, it's like, no, you dummy, he's an airbender. He means like free from earthly like attachment and need and desire and stuff. And so I actually totally sided with Tenzin there. But just in that part, I don't think he's a great teacher either.
But Korra then escapes the island. She goes to where they're having Probending matches, and she sneaks in there. And then she meets Bolin, who they have this weird exchange with the janitor guy, and they're pretty much like, "Oh yeah, I'm with him, she's with her, but no, we're not with each other," type of deal. Which Bolin though is still trying to get Korra, and then he teaches her some bending techniques. Oh, Mako comes in, and Mako doesn't really give a crap about Korra at all. He thinks she's kind of just a fangirl. And Korra's like, "Hey, can you show me something? And show me some moves, like some pro bending moves." And Bolin is like, "Oh yeah, sure I can. I'm not sure that my earth bending will translate to your water bending." She's like, "Oh, I'm an earth bender." And he's like, Oh, I'm sorry. I just assumed with your water tribe get up that you were a water bender." She's like, "Yeah, I'm a water bender too, and the fire bender." And then Bowen's like, "I am confused." And then Mako's like, "I'm an idiot and you're the avatar." Of course, like, both are true. It's just a and then Bolin kind of fans out about being the avatar there.
He's so entertaining to watch and absorb.
Yeah,
I love Bolin.
PJ Bryan does a great job, I think, voice acting for Bolin. Anyway, Bolin then teaches her pro bending moves, which at first she bends and she earth bends the disc and she's really like stance and stuff. And Bolin's like, "Yeah, that's great, but you'll leave yourself wide open." And I think it's an interesting evolution of bending, right? Because martial arts and this is from outsider looking in, seems to be more of a way of life, more of a calming thing, something to kind of test your own self, to calm yourself. And fighting is more like, I need to, which a lot of martial arts is like this. I need to dispose of my opponent quickly, type of deal. And I feel like bending is more of that, like, that old school feel of like, no, the real reason why we do bending is to connect to our spiritual selves and things like this. While pro bending is like, no, we're about fighting here.
Turning
So
something
Korra,
highly spiritual or highly, what's the word, like there's like a whole worldly culture built around this thing, and now we've turned it into a competition, kind of like something that didn't originate as a game, and they've turned it into a game.
yeah, which I like the game. Oh, we haven't gotten to Probending yet.
I don't like Probending so much, but whatever, it's fine.
Whatever.
It could be better. It could be better.
So, Korra continues trying to train. She gets nowhere and nowhere again, and then so she watches one of their matches, and then she takes place in one of the matches, and then she she because one of their guys quits, their waterbender guy quits, and so Korra steps in, and then like in the Probending match, she's first waterbending, and then she's new at it. She's not as good. She uses earthbending, and everyone's like, what the heck? And like, it's the Avatar. Which is really interesting. They still let her play, but as long as she only bends water, which I think is a good rule.
That's fair, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. And then they're still, she gets knocked out, and Tenzin comes in, and she pretty much just like, listen, no, I need to be, they have an argument, which I do love their mentor relationship, even though I don't think Tenzin is the greatest airbending teacher. I think he's a great mentor to Korra. It really has her back a lot, which I think is the best mentor-mentee relationship. I think it's even better than the Iroh-Zuko relationship, because I think in this one, as a mentor, purely a mentor, because I think in this one, a good mentor kind of learns from his mentee and vice versa. I think those two really help each other out. While I think Iroh, it's more of a one-way street. Iroh has kind of already come full circle, even though Zuko is a replacement for, I don't want to say replacement, but for Luten.
Agreed.
But, yeah.
Sorry, I'm just thinking about Probending now in the order of sport, like fantasy,
Okay.
not real sports.
So one thing, I think Probending is one of the best fantasy sports because I think it has very set rules, and it has like it has very good frame of how to win the match. Right? They have the zones and everything. They have rules. You can't like water hose someone. Like you can't just have a heavy flow of water. You can't knock people off the side of the ring. Oh yeah, I do like how when Korra first started, she just whopped people over the side of the ring and got a technical foul. There's a little bit too much cheating in it, but which I almost feel like almost makes the rules even more important. But I love Probending, especially playing it in the video game, because I think it's a really great fantasy game.
In my mind of fantasy sports, there's like at the bottom of the barrel is Quidditch, which is crap. Quidditch is the worst. Crap. And then there's like the robot boxing from Real Steel, and then like right above that there is Probending. And then, like, way up high somewhere, there's, like, Kirby's Dream Course, which is that weird combination of putt-putt golf and pool or something like that. No, I don't... Mostly one big issue I had is that, like, when the other team just, like, tires out, like, in all of Avatar lore up to this point, it's like, never has a bender just tires, like, I'm pooped. I can't bend anymore. This is it. I can't do it. It's like, you guys are pro benders and you just run out of juice mid-game? Like... How many times Kobe take himself out of a game because he couldn't hoist a shot up, Chris? How many times? 0 times ever in his whole life. So that was a minor qualm. And then I also don't really like the zone rules because they seem to like escalate to the end of the match more quickly instead of like working for like a competitive balance or to, I guess, what am I trying to say? To help comebacks and things like that happen. I don't really like the zone rules all that much. So minor qualms is still way better than Quidditch by miles. I can't think of many other fantasy sports.
Yeah, I can either basketball maybe, but that just seemed kind of stupid.
Basketball was pretty stupid as a movie, and as a fan of stupid comedies, basketball is pretty terrible as a sport and a movie. That can go by Quidditch.
Okay, so then Tenzin and Korra have another argument, and then Korra goes back into the ring because they survived their match, because you have to win like 3 out of 5 matches or something like that. 2 out of 4, whatever. So Korra is being like attacked again by all these different benders on the other side. Eventually, it triggers in her head of like the airbending styles, and she learns to just move around it, and now she can't like even be hit. Which a lot of people talk about how Korra is like really aggressive and stuff, you know, in my Korra versus Aang fights. But then no, she picked up airbending tactics pretty well.
I do like that Tenzin, when he said we got the #1 tool for training airbenders, and I thought he was just going to sit down and make her meditate more or whatever, but it's like, no, he actually had something lined up. So I'm going to give 1 point to Tenzin for having a real training mechanism set up. That helped. That had immediate payoff.
Yeah. Oh, and then Tenzin stayed for the match to watch how the match ended. And then he cheered for Korra and then left away. Really?
Mutual, yeah.
Then he left away. But, and then afterwards, Korra and Tenzin have a pretty good heart-to-heart. Like, Korra even tells him, like, listen, I'm sorry before. I was more frustrated myself and took it on you. Which, I think that's good growth. Like, people say things that they don't really mean, and it's important to know, why you said them and everything.
Especially young people. Absolutely. Yeah. Not sorry, that sounds like I'm pointing finger at all other young people. I mean, like me when I was young, and still to this day.
Yeah. I think that's important to know. Like, anytime you come against someone who, I don't know, may be rude or mean to you, oftentimes it's not a reflection of you, but it's a reflection of them.
That's very deep.
I don't know. I think about that all the time. Like, what is this person going through to make them this way? I mean, unless I'm just a crappy person. I did something terrible. That's all it is. I don't think I'm a crappy person.
I've met a lot of people, and I wouldn't put you in that bucket.
This whole time you've hated me.
You know those 2 hours a week we spend together every week? Yeah. It's crap.
Yeah. And then that's essentially how the episode ends. Them two being on a much better terms with each other. Tenzin pretty much saying like he admitted he was wrong. It was like Probending was a great teaching method for you. But she still can't airbend though.
But she's got the moves down. That's step 1.
Yeah.
Yes. I like that it ended with a really nice heart-to-heart, and it felt legitimate too. It was very well scripted. It was really nice. You don't sort of expect that much emotional attachment from characters in episode 2, I guess. But I dug it. Ready to go some ratings?
Yes.
Let's do it.
Let's see if my phone dies before then, just like that one time.
Racing against the phone.
I forgot the viewer. Someone was nice enough to comment on because we didn't edit it out originally in our YouTube one, and then we didn't edit it out in the podcast on all the podcast sites.
I did eventually, but not right away. Absolutely.
Okay. Someone came over. I came over just to the YouTube one, just to tell you that I watched the unedited version, which I thought, oh, that's cool that you even came back over here.
Sorry about it, but we appreciate your dedication. I did get it edited, but it takes a long time to get back up onto those sites, and I didn't get it edited on the audio version right away. So yeah, there was some awkward blank minutes in there.
I wish I could find a comment.
That's dedication to the game right there.
Oh wait, here it is from Hub Holman. Getting back from my vacation to this. What the hell is Netflix thinking, especially after Disaster 2010? Anyway, just here to tell you guys, you forgot to cut out the phone dying part on Spotify. Still enjoyed it though. 10 out of 10. So thank you.
Thanks, man.
I said, oh crap, I blame Shawn. I said I don't handle the podcast sites.
I totally swear I did it, but it does take a long time to get out there, and I didn't get on it very quick. So sorry, man. But I appreciate you coming to YouTube to make the comment. So that's meaningful.
He did say he liked the sneak peek behind the scenes thing. So
it's probably just me cussing like son of a bitch. That's our behind the scenes. It's just me getting mad at technology.
All right. If I do cut out here in a bit, it's because my phone is dying, but I'll be on like immediately afterwards.
Whatever. I'll just be whatever. He's done. Bye.
Okay. Audio visual 8 because Korra's a great animated show. The bending was done really well. Vague comments, specifically the Korra and the Korra airbidding tactics at the end of the episode, and also her going through that little obstacle thing, I think was done really well. Story 7.5, not much. Mostly we just got a good sense of Korra and introduction to Mako and Bolin, kind of their dynamic, and so that was really cool. But I think that most pays off in memorability, which got an 8. I think getting to know Bolin, I think you get to know him really quick off the bat, and then Mako's not that great right now, not yet. But
he turns a corner fairly quickly, but
yeah. So I guess it's a 7.8 out of 10. I'm kind of surprised I rated this fairly low, I feel like, but I'm pretty sure it's not going to be my lowest rated episode. That's going to come later, probably episode 5 or 6, I think.
I went to 7.5 on audio visual. Probably could have gone a little higher. I don't know if I gave enough credit to the bending itself, but yeah, it's good. Story, I wasn't enthralled. I know you get to meet Mako and Bolin, but it's very exposition-y. All of this feels very exposition. So 7, it's fine, whatever. And then same with memorable. Other than meeting those two, I mentioned the Probending doesn't do a lot for me. I like those two as characters, but once you meet them and then you see the Probending match, like that's most of the episode right there. It's like half of an episode. So there again, not bad. It's just fine. So that came out to a 7.2, which brought us as a group to a 7.5 out of 10. It's episode 2. It's fine.
Yeah.
I do
think things pick up pretty much after this. Like, we haven't even met the antagonist yet.
We've maybe heard. Well, I don't even know if we heard his name. Maybe just the organization. But no, I can confirm. Yeah. I watched. I admit I watched the full disc today.
Just wait, Shawn. Just wait, Shawn. Save it.
Save it. Well, I still am capturing all this original emotion, essentially. Right. I will validate that it picks up very quickly. Very quick turnaround. So that's episode 2. I know it. Well, gross. I forgot to change it there. Terrible editing skills. That is episode 2. And I'm really excited to be started on Korra. I'm glad we're here. I don't know what else to say. But we bought some time in between to line up with Netflix, and now we're into it, and I'm enthralled to be back into a serialized storyline.
Ditto.
That's what I got. All right. Hey, happy Labor Day. Be safe. Don't do anything stupid on Labor Day, or if you do it in a controlled environment. Is that good advice? And thanks.
Sure.
I don't know if it is or not. Just don't do anything stupid. Just be safe. Thanks for watching and all the nice comments and stuff like that. We will come back at you next week, probably just with standard episodes 3 and 4. We're gonna roll through Korra, and I am stoked. Chris, final thoughts?
No, I'm out.
Okay. Cool. Take care, everybody. We'll see you next time.
My phone didn't die.
We made it.